Harry Potter world has been super exciting recently. So many great things have happened. We've seen actors not bowing down and apologizing for working on something so very well known just because J.K. Rowling created it. Tom Felton made his debut in Harry Potter and the Cursed Child as Draco Malfoy, and the new audio cast recording book has been released. Now, I downloaded the cast recording of the book because I will be listening to that with my niece. And I was taking a look at the cast list and I noticed that Riz Ahmed was playing Severus Snape. And that got me thinking. Hello and welcome back to Chat About It, Don't Shout About It with me, Rachel, the Queen of the Woke, as crowned by one of my haters.
Crown you Queen of the Woke!
Let's chat about it. Please let me know if you will be listening to the cast recording in the comments section below, and do let me know if you've seen Draco Malfoy played by Tom Felton in Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. How cool is that? And obviously, please do keep it friendly in the chat. You're probably wondering what this is actually about. Well, let me show you a photograph of our two Snapes from the Harry Potter HBO Max and the cast recording. Let me just bring that up for you. Here we go. There you are. On the left, we have Papa Asidu, and on the right, we have Riz Ahmed. I think you're probably on the right track of working out what this is about. I have in the past covered changing Snape's description on the channel. I'm against it. Just to be quite clear, I'm against it. I'm not against Papa. Papa can be in the series, perhaps as a character like Kingsley or a character of a lesser description. But I'm against HBO changing something that is very clearly described in the books. I believe that HBO have made Papa a subject of tokenism and perhaps even indirect attack and wokenism, and they're now implying so many things that they were not there to begin with. Just by changing Snape's description, it's going to look and it's going to sound ridiculous. Then on the right, we have Riz Ahmed, who is 42, and he is doing the voice of Snape. Now, he may very well be out of the playing age for the character visually on screen, not necessarily in the voice, because obviously the voice ages at a different time. The whole point of them going younger in the TV version is because now they obviously know the ages of the character a bit better. However, if you were going off what HBO said, then that it would have to be authentic, then surely visually, in the terms of description, Riz would fit that description far much better than Papa does for Snape. Just looking at the differences between them. That's just me thinking, he would be a better choice with regards to description, okay? It resulted me in making a post to see what other people thought. Now, this is what I said. Right, so I was looking at the cast list for HBO Harry Potter series and the cast list for the cast audio for the books. The first picture is Papa Asidu, who will be playing Snape for HBO, and the second picture is Riz Ahmed, who will play Snape on the audio. If you've been around on this channel, then you will likely know what I think of the choice for HBO's Severus Snape. I'm going against the book description of the character. Snape's skin is very distinctly described in the books, and changing him to a black man, a very handsome one at that, implies connotations that never existed in the first place and puts in place blatant racism when the racism is already depicted in the books through the use of the term mudblood. Papa himself is a fine actor. I still stand by that. And I'd love to see him in the series, just not as Snape. Give him Kingsley or a character with less prominent description. Riz, although probably out of the playing age at 42, would visually be a better choice. How can one company get it right and one company get it wrong? I think I know the answer. Now, that's what I said, and I do think that I know the answer. I was wondering if some people would say what I was thinking. And, well, let's just put it like this. They certainly did. They went there. So Carl Ace says this. I think the goal of the woke mob is to do exactly what was done to Alphabet in Wicked. By casting a black actor or actress in a role that was defined as white, the woke mob can create a new racial narrative that was not present in the original. It's insidious and extremely damaging to the original intention depiction of the character and the story narrative. And actually, I'll just say that we've seen J.K. Rowling's drawings of Snape. We know what he looks like from her drawings, and also we've seen pictures of the person who Snape was based on. They're floating around on X somewhere. I believe he was based on one of her teachers, if I've got that correct. Think of the traditional Snape. This is what Carl says. He was established as a secretive and somewhat mysterious character who was basically pale, goth loner who liked to bully students. He was bitter and somewhat secretive. The revelation that Snape was in love with Harry's mother and hated his father because she chose James over him helped to explain Snape's dislike for Harry, since Harry was James's son. That's correct. But once you change Snape's skin color, everything about this new variant Snape instantly becomes racial. And this is my point all along, really. So now Black Snape is reduced to the nasty stereotype of a black man lusting after a white woman. So now James and the Marauders are transformed into racist bigots. So now Black Snape hates Harry because he reminds him of James and because he has the same skin color as his rival for Lily's love. So this is the sort of thing that I have said in the past videos about this. If it changes absolutely everything, not only what was mentioned here, but Snape is hung upside down from a tree. This is not the USA, okay? I'm just thinking hooded people, yeah? Anyway, so Carl then goes on to say this. The woke mob of HBO are way out of line with this casting, way out of line because it changes the entire concept of Snape, but they seem determined to create their own version of the Harry Potter universe, one with racial overtones, just so they can create a racial tension where there was none. Casting a black actor as a white character isn't progress. It's a distortion of the original intention of the character. I want to be clear, I blame woke casting department and HBO management for this tragedy. I do not blame the actor in the role. I feel the same about Shooty as the Doctor. That debacle was almost entirely the fault of the arrogant RTD. Might I add that if Snape is now black, that Kingsley Shacklebolt should be white and have blonde hair and blue eyes. After all, the HBO casting department insists that they don't consider skin color a defining characteristic with regard to casting and do not consider J.K. Rowling's description of the characters to be definitive, even though they should be because it's been lifted from the text. So by their own standards, Kingsley could be, and in my opinion, should be white. But I bet that will never happen because the woke mob only hates one color, the color white. We're taking a risk there, swapping Kingsley, but we do know that won't happen. It will be a double standard if they did do that. Now, I have been very clear that this wasn't progressive casting. Okay, it's not. It's actually a disservice, really, to Papa and to any actor who matched Snape's description who was up for the role. Even if Papa does the most outstanding portrayal of Snape, and he could very well do, okay, it would never work. And that, as Carl said, is not Papa's fault. And I do agree with the Shooty statement too, actually. Plus, not only that, we already have racism in the book. That's in the form of mudbloods, right? So it's already there. Why add more when it's already there to begin with? Well, that kind of thing, anyway, with the mudbloods. Baldrick's cunning plan. I love that. I love that name. Someone likes Blackadder, and I do too. Says this: visual media think they have to bow down to the woke mob. And I think this hits the nail on the head here. Visual media has to bow down to the woke mob. Right. So there will be the woke mob, as it's defined in this particular comment, plus whatever they have in the DEI initiatives, which could be very, very much overly toned and very over with the DEI initiatives, and whatever the sponsors of HBO are looking for specifically with this particular project, because they would also have to answer to that. This could have been a request, or it could have been a complete colorblind casting. Who knows? But it does have the overtones in DEI initiatives, very much so, I think, here. What I was thinking was with the audio cast recordings, it doesn't matter. You don't have to bow down to DEI initiatives because you cannot see the actors. It's audio only. You only need your imagination to fill in the gaps that's not there. And with the audios, all you need to do is uphold equality in accordance with the Equality Act within the workplace. At least as far as I'm aware, that's what they do at Audible. That's it, pretty much. With visual, it's a whole different perspective. In this day and age, they have to be seen to be progressive. That's what they have to be looking at, to be doing. They have to answer to a higher standard that doesn't necessarily exist. And in the audio, for them, that's not a problem. But in HBO and TV and production companies, it is. It's the higher ups. It's the demands. And to be quite frank, that is how one company can get it wrong because of those demands, and one company can get it right, in my opinion. Well, that's what I think. Let me know what you think. Please check out some of the other content I have picked out for you. Chat about it. Don't shout about it. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching today. Don't forget you can join me on my other platforms as well. I've got YouTube, Rumble, Spotify, X, TikTok, Instagram, Locals, Substack, and I also have a Discord. Everything is linked below.